Next fight up, we've got Anthony Hernandez versus Josh Fremd. This should be a fun fight. I don't know if you've all have watched any footage on Josh Fremd, but he's kind of fun to watch. He's kind of like, I don't know how well he's going to do here, but he could be a decent fighter. I mean, he's 6'4". He's a huge, long guy for the 185 division, which is always fun to see. He's gotten a lot of knockouts. He's one of those guys who he doesn't, when you see him throw, it doesn't look like he hits really hard. He's not a guy who really loads up or really sits down super hard on his strikes, but he just has solid technique and solid power even without really looking like he's throwing that hard. So he's one of those guys who just kind of throws it out there, but if it lands, it does tend to do some damage. He has definitely knocked some people out, and early. He's got quite a few early finishes, quite a few round one knockouts. So when I was first watching tape, I was thinking, okay, yeah, he might be able to find an early knockout here on Fluffy, but I don't lean toward thinking that's how it's going to play out. Fluffy lands 3.76 takedowns per 15 minutes. Oh, but yeah, that's right. Okay, that's something kind of weird about that stat, though, because he's actually only landed 6 takedowns in his UFC career, and all 6 of them were in the Junyong Park fight. So I guess that is sort of weird. But also, Fluffy does hold his hands pretty low at times, and he does get hit quite a bit, which is something that concerns me a little bit against Fremd, because Fremd, he hits hard, like I said. He's got a long reach, and he really... it's so rare to see those long guys actually do this, but he actually does use his jab well. He keeps his jab out there. He pumps it out there. He keeps it in his opponent's face to try to keep distance, and he throws it regularly, which is nice to see. But, I think Hernandez is probably the more well-rounded fighter here. Fremd does have a wrestling background, but it's not something he looks to use super often. He definitely looks to be more of a striker in his fights. But Hernandez is a solid wrestler and a solid grappler. He just has a solid overall game. And I think we'll potentially see Fluffy Hernandez look to go to his grappling here, because I think even though he's a solid striker as well, I think he's going to understand that that's where he's going to potentially get himself into trouble in this fight. Let's try to see if there's anything else if there's anything else I wanted to talk about here. Fremd has finished 7 of his 9 pro wins with 3 subs and 4 KOs, and 3 of those finishes are in round 1. So yeah, he does have some subs as well. But yeah, and did I pull up the line here? Sorry, I literally forget to do that every single time. We've got Anthony Hernandez at -175. Fremd as the underdog at +170. And this is another situation almost like the Santos and Arce fight, where skill-wise it could potentially be lined closer, but with Fremd making the big step up in competition, making his UFC debut here, I do think you have to favor Hernandez. I don't like a bet here. This almost ends up being like a dog or pass kind of thing for me, just because having Hernandez at like almost -200, I don't really like to put anything on that. I would maybe look at Anthony Hernandez by sub here, as I think that's a pretty reasonably potential way for this fight to play out. But yeah, I'm going to pick Anthony Hernandez to win. I don't have any bets here. This is a card where I'm definitely there's props that I'm going to be excited to look at once I have them available. But like I said, my book has released props for the top 3 fights on this card, and that's it so far.